Hello from New York City. Happy Giving Tuesday, everyone. We are so excited to get our first webinar of the day started, featuring SDG number 5 on gender equality. I'd like to first begin with a few thank yous. Thank you to everyone joining us today for this webinar, both in the Zoom room and on Facebook Live. Thank you to everyone who engaged with us over the past 17 days with our SDG social media campaign in honor of Giving Tuesday. And finally, thank you to everyone who has donated to iEARN USA so far. We are so grateful to have you part of the iEARN community. Today's first webinar celebrates iEARN's work on gender equality. We have several special guests joining us today from California, Kansas, Sierra Leone, and Iran. You will get to learn about the work of 2 students who are working together to support girls' access to school in Sierra Leone, and then you'll get to witness a live virtual exchange between students in the US, Iran, and Sierra Leone. Before we begin, let's go over a quick review of some of the features in this room so all attendees can navigate and participate seamlessly. First, I'd like to direct your attention to the chat box. If you're attending the Zoom room, if you look to the bottom of your screen, there should be an icon that says chat. You can click on that to open the chat box. We encourage everyone joining us today in Zoom and on Facebook Live to ask questions throughout the presentation, share your comments, share your thoughts, engage with us. And we'd love to engage with you to continue a robust discussion of gender equality. We also will be launching several polls throughout this webinar to learn a bit more about you. So I'd like to first launch our first poll, which is, who are you? Please tell us who you are. Select the category that you most identify with, and we can get a sense of the audience right now who's participating. I'll wait a moment for everyone to answer the poll question. While we wait, a big shout out to those of you joining us on Facebook Live. For those of you joining on Facebook, please feel free to add your comments and questions as comments on the recording. We'll have staff monitoring your comments and questions on Facebook as well, and we'll share those with the Zoom panelists. So please engage with us on Facebook as well. I'll give everyone a minute, one more minute for the results, and here they are. Let's see, we have awesome. We have a number of iEARN educators joining us, some iEARN students, iEARN classrooms. You'll get to meet several today during the webinar. We have some NSLI alumni, yes alumni, and then some mysterious guests, but a big welcome to everyone joining us today. Just one more logistical note. We are recording this webinar, so if you missed something, or if you know someone who wasn't able to attend live, please visit our website or YouTube channel or Facebook page to watch the webinar again. I will now hand the mic over to my colleague, Nicole.
Thank you so much, Signe, and hello, everyone. Great to see you all here, and we're so excited again to get started with this wonderful connection between all of you around the world. So just I wanted to share a little bit about iEARN before we jump into the webinar. It was founded in 1988 during the Cold War when a man named Peter Koppen came up with the idea of connecting 12 classrooms in the US and 12 classrooms in the former Soviet Union with the goal of building bridges of understanding between the youth in the 2 countries. So now, 30 years later, the iEARN global community has grown to include at least 140 countries and around 50,000 educators and 2 million youth who are collaborating every day on global projects virtually. I will just, go to the next slide. And we also work on two physical exchange programs. So we implement both the National Security Language Initiative for Youth, also known as NSLI-Y, which is sponsored by the U.S. Department of State. And that's a scholarship program for U.S. youth aged 15 to 18 to study critical languages abroad for summer or academic year. And we're sharing some websites here that we definitely encourage you to visit to learn more about this wonderful opportunity, and to read stories and view multimedia and virtual events by NSLI participants. And we also help implement the Yes and Yes Abroad programs, Youth Exchange and Study and Youth Exchange and Study Abroad, also sponsored by the U.S. Department of State. So the Yes program is for students to come to the U.S., students from countries with significant Muslim populations, and study for an academic year here in the U.S. They live with host families and attend local schools. And the Yes Abroad program is a reciprocal scholarship program for U.S. youth to study in other countries as well for an academic year. We also wanted to just note quickly that, the Yes program is always looking for families to host in the U.S., to host Yes students. So definitely check out these websites to find out more on these amazing opportunities. Now I'll share a little bit about iEARN's global projects. iEARN has more than 100 projects housed in its online collaboration center, and all of the projects follow a project-based learning model and have students connecting asynchronously, meaning they're able to sign on at different times due to their different time zones around the world, except when they might, they and their teachers might arrange a video conference in advance, such as the one you'll be seeing later in this webinar. The students are connecting through discussion forums in our safe and secure online collaboration center, as I mentioned, and that's where they will share their comments, their questions, their project work, and their media with each other across a diverse range of subject areas and languages. And iEARN has made the commitment to have all of its projects align with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So this is really the glue that binds all the iEARN projects together. Each of the iEARN projects is aligned with at least one of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. So we're very proud to be featuring that today for Giving Tuesday. And I'll hand it over now to my colleague Emma, who will speak a little bit more about SDG number 5. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So SDG 5 has the end goal of achieving gender equality and empowering all women and girls. Addressing gender equality can take many different approaches, to providing more opportunities for women and girls, to demystifying stereotypes about boys and girls, men and women, to including women and girls in places they normally have been excluded, to dismantling societal norms and beliefs about traditional gender roles. Around the world, both grassroots and institutional approaches are in action to create more equitable and fair societies for all individuals to live in, regardless of their gender. Today, we want to focus on iEARN projects and iEARN alumni that are working to make a positive change in their communities and slowly but steadily chip away at the gender inequalities. Hopefully, this webinar will inspire even more of our iEARN network to become involved with gender equality projects. So I'm going to launch a poll. We're curious about how many of you have done gender equality projects before. So, your project history and launching the poll now. Have you ever done a gender equality project? Yes, not yet, I'm planning one now. So let's just see what kind of results come in. It looks like it's a pretty even split so far. I'll give it about 5 more seconds. We have 75% of our participants have voted. All right. So this is really impressive. Over 50% of the participants have participated in a gender equality project. 42% say not yet, and 5% say they're planning one now. So hopefully after this webinar, all of you that are in the 42% will be planning one. Great. Okay, can we have the next slide, please? So one of the very first videos that we want to share, one of the very first projects that we want to share with everyone is a video that was done in Bangladesh. It was a digital storytelling workshop that was hosted by iEARN USA and iEARN Bangladesh from October 2nd to October 7th of this year. So 3 professional videographers worked with YES alumni to create short videos that answered the question, what was something that changed your perspective while you were on the YES program? One of the alumna, Mehzabin Chowdhury, who goes by Irene, decided to share how her perspective on gender equality had shifted throughout her YES year. And now she's advancing and promoting gender equality in her own community. So we're going to take a moment right now to watch this video. If you'll just give me 1 second while I get this set up. Imagine living. Sorry, we're going to start that over.
Imagine living in a community where your happiness doesn't matter, where you're not expected to have dreams of your own. My name is Mehzabin Chowdhury and I am 18 years old. I graduated high school and I live in a small town where the expectations for a girl is to just finish high school, get married, have kids, and just look after the house and the husband. Many girls in my community are denied an opportunity to pursue their dreams. But I got lucky. I got the opportunity to go to the United States with the Kennedy Lugar Youth Exchange and Study Program. That was an eye-opening experience for me. Well, while I was in the US, I saw that, my host dad was cooking. Women earned more than their husband, and girls played sports. I even ran cross country. And that was the time that when I felt the true sense of freedom and independence. I returned back to Bangladesh with hopes and dreams, but quickly it all changed and I felt like I was back into the cage. So along with my friends who also studied in the US, we organized a self-defense training program for the local girls. I wanted the girls to feel safe about leaving the house. We also taught classes on positive body image and confidence building. And we had computer courses for girls who had never used technology before. Witnessing the joy on the faces of these girls from owning an email account and seeing them breaking out of the bubble set me free as well. I want them to know that our happiness does matter and that our dreams can come true and we can be whatever we want to be.
Great, so that's just one example of how iEARN State Department alumni are making a big impact in their community, both by doing these programs and starting gender equality initiatives, but also by encouraging others to do it by spreading the message. Now we would like to highlight another youth-driven gender equality initiative. This gender equality program takes place in Sierra Leone, but has a strong connection with the United States and a beautiful background story that showcases the strength and longevity of iEARN collaboration and the power of youth-driven initiatives. Michael and Tamba, our two next panelists that are coming up, are both iEARN alumni of two separate State Department grants. The two met in Morocco in 2017 at the iEARN International Conference. Tamba Abdulai is a 2013-2014 YES alumnus from Sierra Leone. He is the president and founder of the Tamba Abdulai Foundation. He first became involved with iEARN when he received a scholarship from the Kennedy Lugar Youth Exchange and Study Program. He is currently attending the Institute of Public Administration and Management and is also the president of the Tamba Abdulai Foundation, which is an organization that strives to achieve gender equality in schools. Michael Adamson is an American high school student. Michael was awarded a NSLI scholarship to study Arabic in Rabat, Morocco in the summer of 2017. iEARN is the one who organized the study abroad for NSLI. He is currently a high school senior at Blue Valley North High School in Overland Park, Kansas. So Michael and Tamba, I invite both of you to come on screen now. And you can share your video and also your audio. Awesome. Hi, Michael. I can see that you're with us here.
Hi.
Great. And Tamba, I'm going to go ahead and, okay, you're unmuted. So guys, you can take it away from here. I am going to mute myself, but if you have any questions, I can hop back on.
Awesome. Yeah, if you could go to the next slide, that would be great. So this slide will be presented by Tamba first.
Hi everyone, I'm Tamba. I'm from Sierra Leone, AS alumni. I'm so excited to join this iEARN webinar today, and I'm very excited to present to you about what we've been doing with the Tamba Abdulai Foundation in promoting gender equality in Sierra Leone. The Tamba Abdulai Foundation is a local NGO that was formed by myself in 2014 to support marginalized girls in Sierra Leone through a grassroots initiative. All believe in education, in educated citizens are essential to a healthy democracy. So what we are actually looking at, Sierra Leone is a country in which women have a very limited right to access to education. So one way we can ensure one of the gender equality for women to have like a participation in getting their own right is by ensuring that girls are educated, by supporting them with their educational activities until they complete their high school as the aim of our foundation. Next slide. This next slide here is looking about the goals of the Tamba Abdulai Foundation. The goal of the Tamba Abdulai Foundation is to increase access to basic education for girls by supporting the enrollment of them into school. So this is what we've been doing over the years. Since 2014-2015 school year, we've been ensuring that we bring girls into our educational program by paying their school fees, by providing them uniforms, by providing them with textbooks, books, and pens like that. Another goals for the Tamba Abdulai Foundation is to reduce the marginalization against women in education by ensuring that parents in remote communities are well equipped with knowledge on gender equality. This is where another thing, again, we have been working over the years. When this organization was formed, more especially to support the girls in Sierra Leone, we embark on gender equality sensitization at grassroots level, because many homes in Sierra Leone, especially in the remote areas, I believe that whenever a girl is around 18 years, the person is to go to early marriage, which we are against. And we have been doing this over the last 4 years by ensuring that we gather most of the parents together, give them the importance of educating their children, giving them their right, the right of a woman, giving them that whenever a woman is educated, what she can do in order to promote her community. Next to you, Michael.
And all right, so I first met Tamba at the Marrakesh Youth Summit in 2017, the summer of 2017. And I was really inspired by Tamba's work, and I wanted to become involved because I had a background in working with gender equality. Here in Kansas, I work with a group called Safe Home, and they provide shelter for mainly women, but also children and men who are suffering from domestic violence and other situations that have to do with like abuse and control and mistreatment. And so I really wanted to combine my passion for cross-cultural understanding with what Tamba was doing. And I think without iEARN, I would never have had this opportunity. And I think the collaboration is really good for both of us because I can learn more about Tamba's organization and bring that back to the United States and show people the work we need to do, not only in other communities, but also in our community. Because even though gender equality exists to different extents and in different ways in different communities around the world, we all still have problems concerning gender equality, and it's unfortunately not fully realized in any community in the world. Next slide. So can you go back one? Thank you. So, just to the fundraising part. Yep, perfect. I help fundraise for Tamba, and so far we've hosted about 3 mini fundraisers, and one of those has been an art sale, or 2 of them have been an art sale, and one of them has been a crepe fundraiser. We sell crepes to my school, and that's brought in a lot of money. Last time we only did it for 30 minutes and we got about $200, so that's really great. And we're planning a new one in December 2018, and that will last an hour, and we'll have more volunteers. And I think it'll be a great way to raise money for Tamba, and then we can do it more and more and attain all our goals. Next slide. All right, Tamba can take it from here.
Thanks. Okay, so the Tamba Abdulai Foundation over the years, in about 15 communities in Kono district, have increased the number of girls enrollment in school. As I told you, when we formed this organization in 2014, the number of girls attending school in about 15 communities when a survey was conducted was very low. But over the years, we've been able to enroll about 65 girls in our program, and they are presently undertaking their schoolwork. In fact, this year, one of the girls we started supporting at the 6th grade has now sat to one of the public exams in Sierra Leone called the Basic Education Certificate Examination. And that girl was brought into our program because actually her parent was about to take her away from school, but we encouraged the parent and we brought her in, we gave her the support, and this year when she took the Basic Education Certificate Examination, she got one of the best results in her school, which is very good. And that girl will be applying for a year's program as we are planning to do. So a decrease in the child marriage is what has been one of our success over the years. Since we've started operating in some of these communities, the incident of early marriages were too many before, when we started our intervention program. But with our intervention, with our engagement with parents, with our sensitization programs on sending their children to school, not only sending boys to school, but girls as well, because they are very much important in contributing to the development of the society. So the number of those incidents of early marriages have reduced drastically in the last 3 years. I can say, like, for the last 2 years, I have not like had anything in those 15 communities we've been operating about anything relating to early marriage. Next slide.
So our new fundraising goal. Oh. Okay. Tom, we can continue talking about this slide now.
So, and of course, one of our global goals, equal and equitable education. Of course, we all know that when women are provided with equal rights and equal access to education, they go to participate into business and economic activities. It increases the earning power and income combat against the current and future poverty through feeding, clothing, providing, and throughout for the entire family. According to the United Nations, the cross globe, women are underrepresented, and this is practical in Sierra Leone. Of course, you can see, like, when it comes to elections, the number of positions that men apply for, you cannot even measure that to the number of positions that women go in for. Most those women, they are being marginalized because some traditional homes believe that women are meant to take care of their husband and their children at home. They are not to take part in anything. All this is as a result of when, like, a woman is lack the education. But, like, according to what the United Nations, one of the research we did, like, women are underrepresented as voters and restricted from political involvement in Sierra Leone. And this is very practical, and we've seen some of these examples, like, over the last elections in March. So supporting girls with education, empowering and training them will ensure that this gap is eased.
And also something I wanted to add about Tamba's foundation, I find it really pretty amazing because he's working in his own community, and he's starting a process of development, which I think is really important because girls are a whole half or more of any given society, and they're the ones who hold the key to development. And so I'm really glad that Tamba is not only very cognizant and working on improving the lives of women in his country, but also improving the lives of everyone in his country and pushing his work forward. And I'm really happy that I can work with someone who knows his own community, and I can contribute to something that I know is going to help a lot of people go farther than they ever would have thought before. All right, and Tama, do you want to start talking about our goals for 2019?
Yeah, sure. So, like, this year, as we are planning to, like, bring in more girls into our program, there are a lot of girls in over there who don't have the access to, like, education. Of course, most parents in those communities live on sustainable farming. Sustainable farming is what they just do to feed themselves. Like, now, the government of Sierra Leone has come on, like, to introduce what is called the Free and Quality Education Program. The Free and Quality Education Program, like, support, like, those schools sponsored that are approved by the state. So now there are certain schools in our communities that are not, like, government approved schools, and there are girls over there who want to be enrolled in the program, but this cannot be done without, like, having enough resources for us to ensure that we bring in more girls. So like our goals for next year is to raise $12,000 for the 2019-2020 academic year. And we are looking forward to ensure that we raise this fund by June 2019. And we also want to increase the enrollment into the program. Of course, last year we had like about 75 girls who were enrolled into our program, but some of them went out of school as a result of certain economic conditions, because our support only is limited to like supporting their school affairs. And some girls coming from the villages, coming to the city to attend their secondary education, most times find it very difficult to live, especially considering the economic problem of Sierra Leone. And we want to create more opportunities for women to know their basic rights. Of course, this is one of the activities we want that 6th of December is one of our workshops we are organizing in the village, in which we are going to on gender equality, on avoidable circumstances. Able to do it. So this is what we want to ensure, that women know their rights. Men also know the rights of women, to ensure that they are treated equally in the community. So campaign in Kansas City with artists who will sell to benefit the Tamba Abdulai Foundation. So these are some of our goals, fundraising goals we want for the next academic year.
And on my end in Kansas City, I will be organizing more fundraisers, including art auctions. And actually just today, I started receiving donations of art from local Kansas City artists at UMKC, which is the University of Missouri, Kansas City, and also Kansas University. And it's great art from great art students who are totally behind Tamba's work. And I really hope that we can auction those pieces off and get a lot more funding. All right, next slide. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tamba and Michael. Do you guys have any parting words? And again, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to type them into the chat box. A lot of people are commenting on how impressive your work is and how the power in individuals can actually make a change. So thank you. Do you guys have any closing words before we go on to the next portion of our webinar?
We wanted to add that if you'd like to look into our, or to Tamba's foundation and my support of Tamba's foundation, you can look it up on Facebook. You can just look up Tamba Abdulai Foundation. You can contribute to our GoFundMe, and again, you can just Google that. And then also Tamba has a website.
Awesome. Yeah, and we actually can share in the chat box. We'll include links to all of these, as well as a link to the video that we just watched in case anyone wants to see it again. So thank you so much, Tamba and Michael. I mean, it's really impressive what you guys do, and I feel like your collaboration and partnership truly gets to the heart of iEARN, so thank you. I'm going to now pass this on to my colleague Rachel, who is going to introduce our next set of guest speakers.
Thanks again to Tamba and Michael for sharing their story and their amazing work, and to continue with the fantastic spotlights on our iEARN educators and youth. I have had the pleasure to work with two fabulous teachers, one from Iran and one from the US, and they have willingly agreed to showcase their classroom exchange for the world today. And as my colleague Nicole said earlier, we have over 100 global collaborative projects that classrooms around the world are engaging in. And in that project, they do various forms of virtual exchange. They work in our collaboration center asynchronously. They do projects in the classroom, and many of our classrooms connect on video conference and see one another synchronously face to face. And so I'm excited to share with you one of those video conferences between these two classrooms. Before we get started, I do want to introduce the project that they're doing a bit. So if you want to go to the next slide. So these two classrooms have been doing iEARN's Girl Rising project. For those of you that are not familiar with it, Girl Rising is a documentary series that follows the lives and stories of 9 girls around the world in developing regions. These are ordinary girls who confront tremendous challenges and overcome nearly impossible odds to achieve their dreams. And in the iEARN Girl Rising project, our classrooms view these documentaries and they engage in a virtual exchange discussing any of the issues that come up around gender equality and quality education around the world. So these two classrooms that you are going to see today have been participating in the Girl Rising project, and they recently viewed the chapter on Sierra Leone. And so today we are going to discuss that. So I'd like to introduce our guest speakers today, and then we'll get started. If you want to go to the next slide. So we have 2 fabulous global educators with us today, Marissa Abedi from Iran and Alan Witten from California in the United States. Marissa has been teaching English for 25 years in junior and senior high school. She has an MA in EFL and would like to continue her study as a PhD candidate in the US soon. She has attended many iEARN conferences and brought many students to present their projects, share their ideas, and learn from others. She has been an iEARN member since 2003. She loves iEARN and everybody in the iEARN network. And Alan from California in the US is a social sciences and international studies teacher at Sunburst Youth Academy, which is in Los Alamitos, California. He began teaching in 1999 and joined iEARN in 2016. Alan has participated in several iEARN projects and has been active in the iEARN Girl Rising project for the past 3 years. He enjoys traveling to schools abroad to meet with iEARN educators. He was a participant in iEARN's Bridge program and has attended the 2017 conference in Morocco as well as the 2018 conference here in the US. And then they are both also joined by some of their students who have been participating in this project. So I'll introduce you quickly to their students. Alan's classroom at Sunburst Youth Academy. You want to wave, ladies? These participating cadets at this academy are 16 to 18 years old. They are students in Alan Witten's global education class. They have participated in the iEARN Girl Rising project with the students in Iran, as well as students in Japan, Argentina, Palestine, Uganda, and Israel. The students will graduate from Sunburst Youth Academy on December 7th, 2018. And Marzia's students from Iran, these are students that have participated in the Girl Rising project as well. They are 8th grade students in junior high. They attend Nodet School in Tehran. They are 13 to 14 years old. They are very interested in doing global projects and attending conferences to meet different people and share their beliefs, feelings, knowledge, and information. So if the young ladies from Iran want to wave so everybody can see them, welcome. So I am going to pass it over to Marissa and Alan, and they are going to lead us in observing their classroom exchange. And for those of you watching, feel free to type in the chat box. If you also want to answer the questions they are asking, you can go ahead and participate through the chat box.
Well, good morning. My name is Cadet Chavez, and I'm 18 years old. Today's question is, when watching the Girl Rising film, how did Maremma's story make you feel? Anybody from Iran or not? Good answer. Camera. I am looking at the camera. But she wasn't answering. So I asked her, like,
Elia's answering. Elia's muted.
So, look. Hold on just 1 second. Helia, I think your microphone is muted. I think you need to unhit your mic. Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah, we didn't hear what you had said. So.
Sorry. Okay. Okay. Mariama was a wonderful and a great dreamer. She believed that she could have a better life than her family. In my opinion, she was a different girl. I was so inspired when I saw that girl with her soul problems, helping others to solve their problems. Also, I was very excited when she stood against his father and told him that I want to continue my education, although others disagree with me. And I'm happy that I live in a world that there are some girls like Mariama, strong and powerful. And as she said, now nothing can stop her, nothing in the world and nothing in the universe. And I'm sure sometimes I will see her in the moon, maybe. Yeah, I will.
Thank you. Cadet Gorilla answer this question as well. When watching the Girl Rising film, how did Mariama's story make you feel? No, she asked it.
Yeah.
I asked her.
Thank you, Helia.
You're welcome.
The answer for this for me, Mariama's story, it made me feel like really good because compared to all the other videos, Mariama, she did this with her family support. Her dad did this, but she actually talked to her dad and her dad, like, I do this, like, give me a chance, like. And her dad gave her a chance, and she actually doing what she wants to do, help out people and help out the girls in general, and give them good advice, which is something like people need, good advice and people to encourage them to actually do good and be successful, and just women in general. Like, it was good that she's helping them, and she was able to do what she wanted, even though people didn't approve of that. That's what I thought.
Thank you.
Was there ever a time in your life where someone told you you could not do it because you're a female?
Yes. For example, in Iran, usually women cannot be as a president, or for the second part, they cannot get a very high place. And there's a lot of limitation in Iran about women, and there are some omit opinion about women in Iran too. For example, some of men think that women use their cell phones as they are driving, and so they're careless, or they think that women are weak, they cannot be a professional and popular surgeon, and so on. But they are wrong, of course. There are some people that try to change this omit opinion, and we sure that they can achieve their goals.
Thank you. One of our cadets will answer the question. For what, was there ever a time in your life that someone told you couldn't do it because you're female?
Thank you, Perry, but I think that there was disconnection at the end of your speech, but it was good.
Yeah.
Hi, Perry. I'm Cadet Vasquez, and I may answer your question by saying that yes, there's been many times that me as a girl, as a female, I have been degraded many times because of that. But situations where they say, oh, you can't do a sport, or you can't do this because you're a girl, you can't kick a ball because you're a girl. It doesn't have to mean that you can't do a certain thing just because of your gender. That's impossible, because we can do what's impossible. We can do anything that we put our minds into, you know. And as we continue doing it, many women around the world have proved that it's possible to do that, and it will continue to happen.
Nicely done.
Thank
Good
you.
job. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Cadet Swazo, and my question is, in
Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone, Mariama was able to advocate for herself to stay on the radio. Why was her personal advocacy important? Please describe a situation in your life when you had to advocate on your own behalf. From a student from Iran to answer.
Okay, I'm going to start. In my opinion, I think when someone is confident that he or she is doing the right thing, and also it is his or her favorite, I think he or she should stand up against the opposition and never give up in that way. And I think Marima was doing such a beautiful job helping people, and there wasn't anything wrong in her job, and she had tolerated some topics and solved the problem in the best way by talking to her father and solve the problem, found the solution. And also I think people should live for the sake of themselves, not for the others, because I think if just we want to do what other likes, I think we don't have our personal life, and we will do whatever other likes, and it is bad because we couldn't control our personal life. And actually I haven't had a situation before that it needs to be advocated, but I think I should live my life, not the others. I should make a decision for my life and not the others. Yes.
Okay, now a cadet.
Thank you, Narin. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Hello, I'm Cadet Hervasio, and to respond to Cadet Swazo's question is, like Mariama from Sierra Leone, personal advocating is very important, because it's like fighting for your own voice, fighting for your rights as a woman. And personally, I'm planning on being a mechanic or an engineer, and even pleasing my dreams of winning a NASCAR race one day. And it's crazy to think that so many people don't believe that a female can even do these things. But for me personally, I have to go every day and prove people wrong by just knowing things that they wouldn't know I would know. So personally, I love engineering, I love cars. So every day I try learning the most I can, anything I can about everything about cars, so I can prove people wrong that I can, as a female, I can still know these things. So yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. The other question will be, what can you do in your community to improve gender equality and girls' education? That'll be an answer from Iran. Your microphone is on mute. We can't hear you. Oh, there you go.
Can you now?
Yes.
Before answering this question, I should explain what I mean by gender equality. Gender equality means that men and women are equal based on the rights. They may have some differences, such as physical conditions, but none of them is better or more important than the other. Should be helpful in their community as they can or want. To improve gender equality, we should start from ourselves. If we are labeling women We cannot expect others to respect women. After agreeing on gender equality, we can start informing people around us, like friends and family. It will be spread everywhere, and it will change, and the society's beliefs will be changed about women. Education is very important. Women with educated women are very confident, and they know about the laws and human rights. A society with educated women is so and peaceful. There are some problems not leaving schools and not educating. One of them is economic problems. We can support them with money, and if we can't, we can introduce them to charities. And sometimes misbeliefs and traditions make them bounded. So it's very important issues. So we must effort them to make them efforts to be aware of laws, and if we can't, we should ask help from upper ranks like government and etc. Another thing is that we should respect housewives and mothers. Housewifing is the hardest and the most important job in the world. And it's so precious because mothers and housewives train their children, and children are the future of the country. Another thing is that beauty, but it's not a pair for comparing and excellence. Women are not tools, and we mustn't use beauty, and they mustn't use them and take advantage of because of their beauty. Beauty is not the only and everything it has. There's something more than it. There were some advices that it all starts from ourselves. We cannot lighten up a darkness, but we can be a visible light in our world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. That's good.
Okay. Oh, I'm Cadet Brown. Well, I'm Gabby. I'm looking at the camera. How I think I can improve, or how we can improve gender equality is like how Tara said, to look at ourselves. If we hold ourselves to a standard where we respect ourselves and we hold ourselves to a standard that males cannot lower down, it starts there. If we don't if we don't hold ourselves to a standard, how do we expect society to hold us to the same standard if we don't have a standard for ourselves as to males, as to men? And for example, is like here in the US and United States and Hollywood and theater and music, females are not paid, well, female actresses are not paid equally to male actors because, I forgot what I was going to say. What was it say? Dang, I thought I was gonna say. Basically, disregard that. I just feel like if we start with ourselves, then everybody else will fall in line with it. That's what I think. And as for girls, as for education in general, I feel like education has improved within our country, because the things that we get taught here in the US are not really the tools that we have. The things that we taught here are not the tools that we need to use in the world when we get out of school. And I feel like, especially for females my age, that we should be able to anything to learn and implement it in our lives, because us females have to work 10 times harder than a male does just to prove to others that we are as equal as them, we are as strong as them, we are as intelligent as them, and that and just because we are females, we shouldn't be paid less of them. So that's what I think.
Thank you.
That's right. You're welcome.
Thank you so much to both of these classrooms. It's been very eye-opening and inspiring to hear how passionate these young ladies are about addressing gender equality and quality education. So I want to commend all of you for not only doing this work, but then sharing it with others and allowing us to share it with others. I know that everybody watching today and those that will watch the recording will be very inspired by all of you. So thank you so much. Unfortunately,
thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Marissa.
Yeah, thank you, dear Rachel, and thank you, Mr. Allen. Yeah, and the students.
I wish we could sit here all day and listen to you young women talk about these issues and inspire others. Unfortunately, we do have to wrap up this webinar, but we hope that your two classrooms will continue your exchange, continue to share your ideas and thoughts with others to continue to work towards gender equality and quality education. And we're excited to see you continue your work. And congratulations to the cadets at Sunburst Academy for their upcoming graduation.
Congratulations to all of them.
You should be very proud of yourselves. Great. So I am going to hand things over to my colleague Ligaya to wrap us up and share a little bit about Giving Tuesday, which is the special occasion that brings us all together today.
Thanks, Rachel. I'm just waiting for the slides to come back. All right. First of all, thank you all so much, panelists. Thank you to Marzia's wonderful students in Iran, and thank you to Alan's students joining us from the Sunburst Youth Academy. And of course, thank you to Tamba in Sierra Leone and Michael in the United States. Thank you all so much for modeling for us what this effective student-led international collaborative action on gender equality looks like. We are so grateful for you for sharing that with us and for sharing about your projects. So I want to introduce a little bit about what Giving Tuesday is. So if we can go to the next slide. Giving Tuesday is maybe one of my favorite made-up holidays in the United States and globally. It is a celebration of giving and kindness and volunteerism, and it comes right on the heels of the U.S.'s kind of ramping up of consumerism with Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and so it's really nice to have a break from that and have a day that is just for giving. So how can you participate in Giving Tuesday? You can participate by participating in webinars such as this one, and you can participate by giving your time, by volunteering, and of course you can participate by donating to organizations that move you. So we hope that by watching this webinar that you are moved by the incredible work that you saw these young people working on gender equality. So we would like to ask if you are moved by that spirit of giving to go ahead and donate to iEARN USA. Our goal for the day is to raise $15,000, and we are pretty close to that, but we've already raised around $5,000 from a lot of different donors, I think from over 45 different donors, so it's a lot of small donations. So, any donation that you can give, no matter how small, is a really big help for us. So you can donate at our Facebook page, and maybe one of my colleagues can put the Facebook link in the chat for us, or you can also donate on PayPal. Yeah, I think that wraps up our webinar. Again, thank you all so much. Thank you for participating in Giving Tuesday. And we also just celebrated Thanksgiving here in the United States, which is a day of giving thanks. And in the spirit of Thanksgiving, thank you all so much, and may your hearts be full of both giving and thanks and gratitude. Thank you. Oh, and then also please join us at 8 p.m. for another webinar where we'll be joined by youth who are presenting on their action on the environment. So again, if you would like to participate in another webinar, there's one at 8 p.m. EST. And yeah, please, you're welcome to join us. Thank you.